Hi, in this video I'm gonna show you guys how to find the trig equation of the graph shown here. Okay, this is actually one of the exercises in your textbook. I believe this is exercise 13K. Okay, 13K, and I'm showing you guys question number 3. Okay, so in the previous class we had summarized our sine and cosine equations with this A, B, C, D values, right? So I hope you guys checked out the class website where I posted the summary of the general form for the cosine and sine equations, right? So just a very quick review. The A over here, that has something to do with my amplitude. Okay. The B over here, that is my horizontal. Before I get to B, the A, this is also my vertical or vertical stretch or compression, right? Vertical stretch or compression. Now let's go on to B. This is my horizontal stretch or compression, and B has something to do with my period, right? Because period is equal to 2 pi over B, right? So this B, the value of B, is connected to period. Now the value of C, that is my horizontal translation, right? So if C is positive, then that means it's going to the right. If C is negative, then that means it's a horizontal translation to the left, okay? Keep in mind that under this standard form, we have minus, right? We have minus, okay? So as long as, so you please make sure you be careful with that. The standard form has a minus over there, okay? Minus x minus c, and the c is positive. That means it is a shift, horizontal shift to the right. C is negative, horizontal shift to the left. Now for D, my D would be vertical translation, right? This would be vertical translation. So if D is positive, then it goes up. If D is negative, then it goes down. Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at the question that we have here. So it seems like my principal axis is here. This is my principal axis, right? So it has something to do with my D, right? My D also gives us the information of my principal axis. Right? Right, so my D in this case, it is 1. So my D is equal to 1 straight away. I got the D already. Now what about my amplitude? I think we can find the amplitude pretty easily. My amplitude is this distance right here, right? That's my amplitude, right? So my amplitude in this case would be 3 minus 1. So my amplitude is equal to 2. Okay. So I got my A already. I got my D already. And now let's try to figure out what's my period. The period in this case, period is just the angle that will give us one complete cycle. So period is equal to, so start from here, I go up and then come back down and then go back up again. I'm back to where I started. So how the angle for that to happen is pi. So my period is equal to pi, right? So my period is pi. Okay, so my period is equal to pi. Now, as we mentioned just now, period is equal to 2 pi over b. This is also equal to 2 pi over b. So which means my b is equal to 2, right? My b is equal to 2. So I got my A, I got my B. Now for C, okay? For C is horizontal translation, right? So if we were to figure out the sine equation for this graph, then I will have to compare what we have here, the graph that we have right now, with a typical simple sine graph, right? So, and there's one point that is very, very useful, which is, oops, sorry about that, which is that point right there. Okay, right, that's the point. So in terms of a sine graph, my C, there's no shift, there's no horizontal shift, so my C is equal to 0, right? Because for a sine graph, it starts there, right? Which is kind of the point over there, right? So there's no horizontal shift, okay? So now I can complete the entire equation, which is y is equal to my a is equal to 2, right? And then sine, I'm doing the sine equation first. My b is equal to multiplied by x minus 0, and then plus 1, right? So my y is equal to, if I simplify this a little bit, I'll get sine of, this will be 2x plus 1. Okay, that's it. Oops, battery low. Now, for cosine equation, we need to be a bit careful. So this is for my sine graph. Now for my cosine graph, it starts from there, come back, go down, and then come back up. Right? That's kind of the cosine graph. This is my cosine graph, a simple cosine graph, right? So as you can see here, this point would be that point there. Okay. All right, that's the point. So as we can see here, there is a horizontal shift, right? So there is a shift. However, the principal axis is still the same, which means my d is the same. My amplitude is still the same. So my a is the same. My period, the period is still the same. So b is the same. The only thing that is different, let me use green. So I'm going to use green for the cosine graph. The only thing that is different for cosine graph, so the c for cosine graph would be, so let's see how much did we move here, right? So this is pi over 2, and it's been moved half of that, so this is pi over 4. Right, so which means this x minus c, the graph we have over here, it is moved to the right by pi over 4. So my c is equal to pi over 4. Okay, so the equation for my cosine, the cosine equation for the same graph would be y equal to cosine of my b is the same, b is 2, x minus, now my c is not the same anymore, c is pi over 4 plus 1. And that's it. Okay, I hope you guys understood this c for the cosine graph, and that is, I'm just comparing this maximum point should be there. However, it is happening at this point where we moved the original graph to the right by pi over 4 radians, right? So that's why my c is equal to pi over 4. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next video.